If you blinked, you probably missed it. In just a couple of days, the Assad regime has fallen. The rebels have stormed the palace. It happened with an army of around 30,000 rebels supported by Turkey and other nations. They went into Syria and they managed to make significant gains. And this morning, it seems that they actually have gotten into the palace and the Assad regime is no more. Now, the reason I even care about this conflict is because I was absolutely bombarded by the media about it. It's a conflict that's happening far away from my nation's borders. It's a conflict that I personally don't have a single stake in. Romania doesn't have forces in Syria. But the mainstream media was just constantly telling me that Assad is a bad man. He's a bad man, very bad man. And I agree, like maybe he is. Again, we didn't actually get the history of Syria. We didn't actually have like educational programs or documentaries or anything like that. It was just in the news. Like, he is a very, very bad man. So I expect that now the rebels are going to discuss a constitution, and then they're going to be talking about how they're going to fund an electoral college, and that they're going to decide who gets to be elected as president, and what are the terms, like how many years does he get to stay in power? Can he run more than twice? Probably not, right? And then they're going to decide which building is going to be used for the parliamentary, and we're also going to have like a government. And of course, they're probably going to look at the European Union for guidance and wisdom, and they're going to make sure that there's no human rights violations. Because this is what it was all about, right? Like, this is what the mainstream media was telling me. Bashar bad. So therefore, right, like now it's going to be good. Now they're finally going to get democracy, and probably that Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and other nations in the area are going to look at the new Syria as a beacon of human rights and also a way of governing, and they're going to understand the value of democracy and what it is to have happy people with rights. At least, I hope that's the case, because otherwise the question what was all about. Again, I was genuinely bombarded by the news about this. Do you guys remember like the white helmets and stuff? And it was everywhere. Everywhere you went. Just donate more money. There were people on Twitter actively raging against you if you didn't have the correct takes. It wasn't like the Ukrainian Russian conflict where you had like people with the flags and they would get like really upset if you had any other take. It wasn't at that level, but it was kind of in the same area, right? You guys remember that? Did you? Were you old enough to go on the internet back then? Because that's the only reason that I care. Again, like, there are many conflicts that are happening in Africa right now, that there's other conflicts that are happening in Asia, and it's not that I don't care, it's that I don't know about it because the media barely reports it. But like, this was like a major thing. Like, this was something that they talked about just non-stop every single day. And so now they're just mentioning it. Now it's like just a by the way, yeah, this happened yesterday. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So how did they manage to overrun the Syrian military, and where were the allies? Well, kind of difficult to say, right? Because I don't get the battle reports. I don't have like people showing me the engagements and whatnot. But from what I could piece together from the press, it's possible that the same situation that happened in Afghanistan happened here. Basically, like, the army refused to fight and have major engagements. Like, there were shots fired here and there, but like overwhelmingly, the Syrian army was just like withdrawing, refusing to engage. And they were making huge territory gains, the rebels. They were making huge territory gains in a very short time. So the allies on behalf of the Syrian government, which are Russia and Iran, they're already stretched thin because they're having conflicts and other issues elsewhere. But I think like Russia did a couple of bombing runs in the beginning, but when they saw that the Syrians themselves aren't willing to fight, they decided to not intervene anymore. And so the government collapsed. I think Bashar managed to evacuate with his family. He's under an undisclosed location. I wouldn't be surprised if he pops up in Russia. But yeah, so like that's the end of an era, I guess, for those of you that were trying to follow. What this realistically means, I don't think we're going to get democracy. I think we're going to get Sharia law, like in other Middle Eastern countries. But the question is like what it means for Europe. Because the last time you had an organization called the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. Do you guys remember that? Many people from that organization, once the fighting was over, would come into Europe and they would continue pushing the ideology here. And it went a little bit bad. What wasn't very good. Wasn't very good. Let's hope that this time around things will be different. For the region itself, I mean, nations that border Syria are going to have difficulties coming the next couple of years, accommodating with the neighbors. Usually when you have like a huge group of people that want to fight and they don't get to fight, they will look at elsewhere. I mean, historically speaking, this is human nature. So yeah, the border with Iraq, like they're going to have to deal with this and the nations around it. But yeah, no more white helmets, I guess. That's what we get. We're not going to get any more videos, any more footage from the area. Not that we got them from a long time, but Donald Trump basically said, you should leave these people alone. Like, let them govern themselves. Let them do their own thing. Which, to be fair, it is the America First mindset. I never supported intervention in the Middle East anyway. But I don't think this is the last time we hear from them. I don't think like this is going to be like Afghanistan, right? Where like, all right, well, the Taliban took over and then just quiet. No, I think like these people will make a ruckus, as the British like to say. But hopefully I'm wrong. Again, this is just my take. They're just my opinion based on what happened previously in human history. So hopefully I'm wrong, because that would be the best option. There's a Christian population in Syria. Yeah, I hope that someone is going to give them refugee, because things may get a little bit tough for them. Anyway, let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. And also, I make live streams. If you haven't subscribed to my live stream channel yet, then please do so. There's a link into the comment section, and I'll see you guys there.